Hey guys, it's Shannon from iHeart Radio Canada here with Ilana Glazer.
Hi, how
It's
are
so
ya?
good to see you.
Thank you. It's so good to see you too. Thank you so much for hosting our screening last night. I really appreciated that.
We got to hang out and watch the movie, and I'm sure you've seen the movie a million times at this point.
But like hearing and seeing audiences experience it makes it new every time, and it's very rewarding.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you've been in Toronto recently, a couple weeks ago. I went to your show.
You did?
Yeah, it was amazing. I've been getting so much
Thank
Ilana
you
lately.
so much.
Oh my goodness.
First of all, the Elgin and Winter Garden Theater is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was, oh my gosh, I was beside myself, and we taped that hour, those last two shows, and man, I felt so lucky to be filming there. It was so beautiful, and Toronto audiences are unbeatable, like so open-hearted, you know?
Nice. Yeah, I loved being a part of the taping too, because you would come out and be like, okay guys, cheer a little bit louder. So I was like whistling as loud as I could and just like giving it our all. So.
Yeah, I was like, make it seem like you enjoyed it, guys. It was really, I like to bully a little bit in direction.
Yeah, and I like to hear that you got some vintage shopping in Toronto as well.
Yeah, did what's it called? Me, you.
Oh, I don't know. Do you guys know?
Mine and yours. Mine and
Oh,
yours.
yes.
And thank goodness I was with my tour manager and executive producer of the special, Madeline Kim, because she picked out some fire pieces for me that I was like, okay, a Dior saddlebag, but Dior Homme. So it was like really like there was like an edge to it because it's for men. It was cool.
That's awesome.
It was lit.
I love that so much. Let's talk about the movie.
Okay, let's do
I
it.
feel like, well, I went to a private school growing up, so I feel like I learned more about pregnancy in this film than I learned about in sex ed.
Oh, don't worry. Public school tells you absolutely nothing.
Perfect.
And they just invoke the fear of God in you that you kind of need as a young woman.
Yeah.
In this world. But yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, we didn't really make anything up for this movie. So the movie is about Eden and Dawn, played by Michelle Buteau, two best friends who are in very different places in their lives. One is married with children, that's Dawn, and the other gets knocked up from a one-night stand, that's me, and I choose to keep the baby. And it tests their lifelong friendship. And there was not much extra we had to do to the experience of pregnancy and birth and being a youngish parent other than show what it really is like to make it comedy. For example, when you give birth vaginally, you have to also birth the placenta afterwards. Really? Nobody told me that until my legs were open and I had just pushed out a baby. And then they were like, now the placenta. And I was like, hold up, what? And we just put that in the movie just as it is. And it's truly very funny. Amniocentesis. I didn't have an amniocentesis, a big needle that goes into the belly, almost like a cartoon medical procedure that I could see this happening to a horse or a cow, but a human female. I just can't believe it. I didn't have it. My co-writer, Josh Rabinowitz, whose wife was pregnant at the same time I was as we were writing this, his wife didn't have it. And our producer, Susie Fox, who we created this story with, she didn't have one either. All you have to do is say, what's an amniocentesis? And then they tell you, and then you just put it in the scene and it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Nothing invented. Like I find pregnancy and birth and motherhood so uncovered in TV and film that just showing what is real happened to be very funny.
Yeah. And this movie was shot in a month, just over a month?
This movie was shot in 5 business weeks. We had Michelle for 3 weeks, 15 business days, because she is such a busy, successful superstar and a mother of twins. And budgetarily, we only had 5 weeks, so we got it done in just about a month.
Yeah, and then shooting that in New York rather than on a set, I kind of only assume comes with challenges.
Well, that's the thing about shooting in New York, which I imagine is similar for shooting on location in Toronto. It's such a rich texture. The people are so diverse. Diverse energies too. You get their energy if you're on location. You're getting all this rich energy and music of a city. So while it is bananas and bonkers to shoot in New York, I know this very well, it's unbeatable. It adds to the world of whatever story you're trying to tell by an order of magnitude.
Yeah. When it comes to the scene of you and Claude playing Street Fighter, it almost felt like it was a little bit of a nod to your OG fans of Chronic Gamer Girl.
Wow.
Was that intentional?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Hi guys, welcome to Chronic Gamer Girl. It's me, Ilana.
The character of Claude is based on one of the best comedians I've ever heard of, seen, and had the privilege of knowing. One of my best friends, Kevin Barnett, who the world lost in 2019, and also the best friend and writing partner of Josh Rabinowitz. They were like work husbands, and a lot of this movie is about loss and born out of that loss, that when we lost Kevin, and the whole comedy community was really devastated by that loss. But anyway, Kevin loved Street Fighter.
Okay.
It was really an ode to him, but that was also why something that we enjoyed in our friendship was the Switch, Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I love that. I loved it so much.
I miss Chronic Gamer Girl.
Yeah, you should bring it back. That was my next question.
That was silly as hell. Chronic Gamer Girl. Because I would just get high and play video games in this web series, and
I love her thighs.
Yeah, I know. Oh, she's so hot, dude.
I wouldn't do that now. You know what I mean? And I smoke less weed, but I get just as high, as you know, from my stand-up hour. But damn, that felt risky.
Oh, yeah.
To get high and film it. I wouldn't do that. Spiritually risky. Like, you know what I mean? The camera, it's true. You know, so.
Yeah, but you've been shooting web series for a long time, KRAP TV, with your brother Elliot. It was their childhood news show.
That's right.
Would that come back in any sort of way? Have you ever discussed it?
Yeah, and we also, so my brother and I were obsessed with comedy and making comedy from a very young age, and our entire early childhood was spent making sketch videos under a banner called KRAP TV, and then we had a rebrand to GBS, Glazer Broadcasting System. We were nuts. And we did a web series called Then and Now, and we would watch it and comment on it. And yeah, I love creating with my brother. So something like that could definitely come back.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg is in this movie.
That's right.
My favorite fact about this movie.
That's right.
Can you explain who she is?
Whoopi Goldberg voices Michelle Buteau, the character Dawn's tits. Whoopi Goldberg, her breasts come to life in a mushroom trip, and Whoopi Goldberg is the voice of Michelle's titties.
And the reason that you got her, you texted Whoopi.
Like, to explicitly brag, I can text Whoopi Goldberg whenever I want, and I can even text her assistant to execute on an idea, dog. So that's what I did. And Whoopi is just so down, and she's just such a comedy head. She's so funny and playful, and you know, when you're around her, she'll just be real. You know, she's so real and funny. And we were talking about bringing these breasts to life through a voice, and we thought, what's the most iconic voice on the planet? And Whoopi Goldberg is that. And I texted her, and she was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I was like, oh, okay, dope. So we directed her over Zoom. I was driving in Florida from when I was on tour. I was driving to Orlando on Zoom, producing Whoopi Goldberg voicing Michelle's boobs.
How does one acquire Whoopi Goldberg's number in the first place?
When did I get it? You know, she did a cameo in Broad City.
Oh, right.
A sister act cameo. I mean, she is so generous and so funny and doesn't take herself too seriously. And maybe that's when I got it.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that. You can't help but notice that you focus a lot on themes of adult friendships. What do you think it is about you that makes you want to do that, rather than a lot of people that focus on romantic storylines with then friendships as a side plot?
I'm a real friend and lover type. I love how one hinges to the other, and I like how the lines blur. I love in primary partnerships and romantic relationships how friendship emerges, true friendship, like you see in between Claude and Eden playing video games. Like, they're chilling, you know what I mean? They don't have to hook up, and they have that explicit conversation of like, should we? And they really decide on it because they don't necessarily have to. They're having fun. And I love, as you know from Broad City and from Babes, like, I love how friendships sometimes are partnerships when you need them to be, and how sometimes there's like romantic love. You just sometimes are in love with your friend. And I do love stories about romantic partnerships, and I'm really like taken by like forbidden romance, or when people are in love and circumstances are such that they can't be together. That always makes me like weep. But I don't know, friendship. There's such blurred lines, especially for millennials today, when the lines that were drawn by baby boomers about what life means have gotten so blurry. I think I'm really fascinated by how our relationships are changing, and how sort of those tribe dynamics are changing.
Yeah, totally. I love that too. When it's like you don't have to feel pressured to buy a house, or you don't have to have children at a certain age, and all of those things too.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Broad City, is there a line that people in public say to you or quote to you the most from the show?
Something I'm actually seeing online more, not IRL, is Lincoln, I'm 27. I don't know.
A child bride.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm a child bride. I could feel this sort of wave of young women feeling that pressure approaching them, because I kept seeing it reposted. And maybe in person, I forget what night you were at, if you were at night 1 or night 2. Night 2. So that guy was like, "Want a fook?" Oh, yeah. And he was so funny, but I was also like, wanted to play. He was distracting me, but in a fun way. But that's such a fun one to shout at me, and I get it.
Yeah, I feel like I've never said club anymore. I just say clurb. So.
Into clurb. We're all fam. Shout out to Lucia Agnello for that line. One of the creators of Hacks. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's an easy one. That's so funny that you know.
I love it.
Do you say like, I'll order a turkey clurb?
Yeah, you got it. Chicken clurb.
Oh
In the
God,
clurb,
I love
we
it.
all fam.
I love it.
Are we getting a babes too?
I hope so. Michelle was like, like off the cuff joking about a Babe sequel, and I was like, okay, bitch, like fully down. She is so fun, and she is such a bright, light, and magnetic person. It's so easy to picture her and write for her.
Yeah, I know. I want to see where this story goes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Alana, thank you so much.
Thank you,
This is
Shannon.
a dream come true. So appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Awesome.